What can it mean for a pastor to step in to a bad situation with you or for you? My name is Ted Rosenblatt, and I'm here with my father, Dr. Rod Rosenblatt. And Dad, we go through these tough struggles in darkness, and I don't think we expect there to be any light. We're used to the dark tunnel. We're not used to the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yep.
What does it mean for a pastor to show up and do something as revolutionary as even saying, "Peace be with you," which a friend of ours has experienced recently in a very hard situation?
That's a good description of how it can turn. A friend of ours a while ago had a medical emergency, his own, and was in the hospital. He's a believer, and the pastor came into the hospital room in this dire situation and said exactly that. "Peace be with you." And he said it changed the whole room. And a good pastor is going to bring that kind of instantly weight lifting off the one who's in precarious trouble. And that is a good illustration of what can be done by a pastor in really dire straits. When someone is in really dire straits, we usually, all of us, go to, it's probably over. Probably nothing more to be said, and maybe my days on earth are coming to a close. That sort of darkness, it comes to all of us by nature and without work. And I love that story about that particular pastor coming in and saying immediately what he said. That is, it's a different perspective, even if you do die. Right now you need to hear this, even if that's coming. He didn't know. He wasn't a physician. All he knew was that there was trouble, and that's how he dealt with it.
I think about the parable of the Good Samaritan. It's the guy showing up and helping, and I think we read that in a lawful way. We tend to look at that as a how-to manual, right? And I ought, Yep. I always tend to use this example because we run into this all the time. We exit the freeway, and there's somebody there with a sign. And sometimes we give money, sometimes we don't. And I'm always faced with people who are in need around me, and the law weighs heavy on me at those moments. Whether I do or don't do something weighs on me, and that's a simple conviction. But the thing I think that we lose sight of is that what we can mostly receive out of the parable is this is an image of Christ coming to us when we're lying there not able to help ourselves.
Right on.
The thing that we don't think about, and especially when we're in that place of darkness, is, someone came to help me, and there's nothing I need to do.
Yep.
There was nothing the Good Samaritan could do but lie there and bleed to death.
Yep. Yep.
I'm sorry, the guy that was not the Samaritan, the guy that was robbed on the highway.
Right.
And the Samaritan.
Yeah, and I think parables, if those theologians are correct, who claim that the parables are about what Christ has done for us, that unlocks a whole way of seeing them that we didn't see before.
It's good news.
It becomes good news. And that's a good illustration from Scripture. The Good Samaritan is Christ himself, who came to die for us, whether we cared at all or not, and to rise again for us, whether we cared at all or not. He's the one who does this, and we're helpless.
We are in deep need of assurance and comfort, and more on some occasions than on others. And I think we don't realize, A, that we need it that much, and B, that we don't want to even believe that it exists enough to even ask for it or hope for it.
Right. That is our condition. And as Christians, if you're all of a sudden in the hospital and things look dark, Christ gets lost in our minds, and we need a pastor to remind us, no matter what's coming, he's got you.
And I can't tell you what it's meant when the pastor has shown up for births or for illnesses, and I realize what a difference it makes when it seems like in the church, the Christian church at large, that is no longer part of the expected norm, the presence of the pastor, that the pastor would show for such things. The pastor's kind of aloof and removed from individuals in the congregation, deals with the congregation as a body, but dealing with the individual people and their particular sufferings, and which means showing up and getting his hands dirty with with them and their family. Seems to be sort of a lost art, and I hope it's something that we can return to, because the comfort that's gotten there is unexpected.
At seminary, one professor was sharp enough to say to us all, the parables are all about Christ. And I nodded, okay, but I needed details. This parable, this parable, this parable, this parable.
How is Christ in this parable?
Yes.
How is Christ in this parable?
I needed the details and never got them. Makes you think Capon, Father Capon.
That would be a fun thing to explore sometime. Well, we're going to wrap this up. This probably brought more questions along with some answers, and we hope this finds bringing you some comfort. And you can find more things like this on 1517.org, and you can find me and my father on Facebook. And we hope you've enjoyed this, and we will talk to you soon. Thank you for joining us on Talks with Dad Rod, part of the 1517 Podcast Network. This podcast and all 1517's content is made possible through financial support by listeners just like you. Please visit 1517.org for more, and please consider clicking on the donate button and making a recurring or one-time contribution to help us share this good news in a world which so desperately needs it.